Today, we're diving into a topic that has been debated at breakfast tables for decades: butter versus margarine. You've probably spread one or the other on your toast, used it in baking, or argued about which one tastes better. But the real question is, what's actually the difference between butter and margarine? And which one is healthier? Let's unpack this creamy debate once and for all, right here, on History of Simple Things. Let's start with butter, the older of the two. Butter has been around for thousands of years. It's made simply by churning cream until the fat separates from the buttermilk. That's it. No complicated chemistry, no industrial trickery. This fat is then solidified into what we know as butter. Traditionally, it's a very natural product, and that's why many people prefer it. Butter contains saturated fat and cholesterol, which historically gave it a bad reputation. For decades, health experts warned against too much butter, linking it to heart disease. But more recent research has started to challenge those old assumptions, suggesting that the relationship between saturated fat and heart health isn't as straightforward as we once thought. Beyond nutrition, butter is also prized in cooking because of its rich flavor. It adds depth to baked goods, creates flakiness in pastries, and lends a creamy mouthfeel that's hard to replicate. Now, let's talk about margarine. Unlike butter, margarine is a relatively new invention, dating back to the 1800s. It was originally created in France as a cheaper substitute for butter when dairy was scarce. Instead of cream, margarine is made from vegetable oils, like soybean, sunflower, or canola oil, that are processed to turn them into a spreadable form. For a long time, margarine was marketed as the healthier choice. Why? Because it doesn't contain cholesterol and was lower in saturated fat than butter. However, there's a catch. The early versions of margarine were made using a process called hydrogenation, which produced trans fats. And if there's one fat that everyone agrees is bad for you, it's trans fat. Trans fats have been strongly linked to heart disease, inflammation, and other serious health risks. Thankfully, many countries have now banned trans fats in food, so modern margarines are much safer than they used to be. Still, margarine's reputation took a big hit, and some people never quite forgave it. Beyond health, there's also the matter of taste and texture. Butter has a rich, creamy flavor that's hard to match. It melts in your mouth and in your pan in a way that margarine often doesn't. That's why professional chefs and bakers almost always choose butter for cooking. It delivers consistent results and that unmistakable flavor. Margarine, on the other hand, varies widely depending on the brand and ingredients. Some versions are nearly indistinguishable from butter, while others taste bland or even artificial. Margarine also has a higher water content than butter, which can affect baking. For example, cookies made with margarine may spread more and have a different texture compared to those made with butter. So while margarine can work fine for spreading on toast or sautéing vegetables, butter is usually the star when it comes to flavor in recipes. Now, let's get to the heart of the debate: nutrition. Butter is rich in saturated fat, and 1 tablespoon contains about 7 grams of it. For years, this was seen as a red flag. However, more recent studies suggest that saturated fat in moderation may not be as harmful as once believed. Butter also contains fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, as well as a compound called butyrate, which may support gut health. Margarine, being made from vegetable oils, generally has less saturated fat and more unsaturated fats, particularly polyunsaturated fats like omega-6. These fats are considered heart-healthy when consumed in balance. Some margarines are also fortified with plant sterols, which can help lower LDL cholesterol. But not all margarines are created equal. Some are still highly processed, and depending on the oils used, they may contain more omega-6 than omega-3. Too much omega-6 without enough omega-3 can promote inflammation. So nutritionally, the answer isn't black and white. Butter has a more natural profile but higher saturated fat. Margarine is lower in saturated fat but can be more processed depending on the brand. In other words, the healthier option depends on your dietary needs and the type of margarine you're buying. So, which one wins the health crown? The truth is, it depends on context. If you're someone who loves butter, the occasional pat on your toast or a bit in your cooking isn't going to harm you, especially if the rest of your diet is balanced. If you prefer margarine, choosing modern, non-hydrogenated versions made with healthy oils like olive or canola can be a smart choice. What's important is moderation. Neither butter nor margarine should be eaten by the stick, despite what you might see in a baking show. Both are calorie-dense and high in fat, so the key is how they fit into your overall diet. Nutritionists today often recommend olive oil or avocado oil for everyday cooking and reserving butter or margarine for flavoring and baking. That way, you get the best of both worlds: heart-healthy oils for daily use and butter's unmatched taste when you need it. So, butter versus margarine, which should you choose? The answer isn't one size fits all. Butter is natural, flavorful, and rich in fat-soluble vitamins, but high in saturated fat. Margarine can be lower in saturated fat and sometimes fortified with beneficial compounds, but it's more processed and varies in quality. The healthiest option is to use whichever one you prefer sparingly and rely on healthier oils for everyday cooking. And let's be honest, sometimes nothing beats the taste of real butter melting over warm bread. Other times, a soft margarine spread might be more convenient and just as satisfying. At the end of the day, the butter versus margarine debate doesn't have to be a battle. Think of them as different tools in your kitchen, each with strengths and weaknesses. The key is to use them wisely, enjoy them in moderation, and focus on an overall balanced diet. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.